On May 7, 2025, India launched Operation Sindoor. The target 9 terror infrastructure sites across Pakistan and POK. The execution was precise, swift and devastating. The Harop loitering munition, developed by Israel Aerospace Industries and operated by India, emerged as a centerpiece of India's offensive capability. But the story of Operation Sindoor was not just about imported Israeli hardware. Bengaluru-built Sky Striker suicide drones played a major role in destroying terror camps. What stood out was not just which drones India used, it was how quickly India mobilized its entire drone ecosystem. Operation Sindoor, Russia-Ukraine war and the war in West Asia have made India's defense bosses realize one thing. The changing face of armed conflicts now rests on drones. They are effective, cheaper than missiles and can cause considerable damage to enemy without burning a hole in the exchequer. The drones India deployed in Operation Sindoor represent different rungs of a capability ladder India is now climbing aggressively. The Nagastra-1 epitomizes India's indigenous strides, portable via 2 backpacks. It features pneumatic launch, 60 minutes of endurance, a 15 to 40 kilometer range and a precision warhead of up to 1.5 kilos. Electric propulsion ensures a low acoustic signature with man-in-the-loop control, mid-flight abort capability and a parachute recovery. Then came the biggest weapons test in this story. On May 19, 2026, barely a year after Operation Sindoor, India crossed a new threshold entirely. DRDO successfully completed the final development trials of the Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Launched Precision Guided Missile known as the ULPGM-V3 in both air-to-ground and air-to-air modes at its test range near Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. The DRDO partnered with Bharat Dynamics Limited and Adani Defence Systems and Technologies for development and production. The system was integrated with UAVs developed by New Space Research and Technologies, Bengaluru. The ULPGM-V3, also known as UAV Launched Missile Extended Range, can strike targets including tanks, bunkers, drones and helicopters from the distances of up to 10 kilometers. The missile weighs approximately 12.5 kilograms and uses an imaging infrared seeker, laser guidance and a two-way data link. It operates as a fire and forget system, meaning it independently guides itself to the target after launch. The trials confirmed a fully mature domestic supply chain equipped for immediate serial mass production. The last sentence matters enormously. This is no longer a prototype. India's drone-launched precision missile is ready for the assembly line. India's drone ambitions are not just about defense, they are about becoming a supplier to the world. India's drone market is projected to grow from $654 million in 2024 to $1.437 billion by 2029, at a compound annual growth rate of 17%. That is a market nearly doubling in 5 years, driven by defense, agriculture, logistics and security applications. Cyprus wants India's Nagastra-1 and Sky Striker. Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Egypt and the UAE are looking at India's loitering munitions. After Operation Sindoor proved these systems in live combat against a nuclear-armed adversary, the global queue is getting longer. The real question before India is not whether India can manufacture drones. India clearly can. The deeper question is whether India can build a military innovation ecosystem capable of adapting at a wartime speed, integrating at scale, surviving contested environments, evolving continuously under operational pressure, and combining manufacturing depth with software-driven battlefield agility. The drone is no longer the capability, the system is. And India is only just beginning to build the system. India did not learn about drone warfare in a classroom. It learned by watching every conflict of the past decade with exceptional attention. The Russia-Ukraine war demonstrated that drones are not merely aerial devices. They are part of a much larger battlefield system involving software, communications, AI autonomy, data links, electronic warfare resilience, manufacturing depth, supply chains, battlefield adaptation cycles, and integrated command and control architectures. Ukraine transformed drones from specialized systems into mass battlefield weapons. FPV drones emerged not as isolated tactical tools but as a scalable battlefield systems. Iteration cycles collapsed dramatically. Designs changed in weeks, payload integration evolved continuously. Operators modified systems at a tactical edge. The Iran-Israel confrontation deepened that lesson further. India absorbed all of this, driven by battlefield successes in Operation Sindoor. India firms are now rapidly designing long-range loitering munitions to match global standard systems like IG Defenses, Project Kal and New Space Research and Technologies. Sheshnag 150 promise affordable precision strikes against radars and command centers. But here is where India's finest defense minds are being the most brutally honest. A drone assembled in India using imported flight controllers, radio modules, batteries, optical systems, compute boards, firmware and software dependencies may satisfy certain definitions of localization, but it does not necessarily create sovereign military capability. True military autonomy lies not in assembling the shell, but in controlling the stake that enables the system to fly, communicate, survive and fight. China's true advantage lies not in cheap manufacturing but in ecosystem depth. It built not merely factories but interconnected technological ecosystems capable of scaling innovation at extraordinary speed. For India, this creates an uncomfortable mirror. The first risk is supply chain dependency, wartime disruptions, sanctions, export controls and logistics bottlenecks can severely affect component availability. A drone ecosystem heavily dependent upon external suppliers may struggle to sustain operations during prolonged conflict. The second risk concerns embedded vulnerabilities, firmware compromise, telemetry exposure and hidden software dependencies in military systems. The third and perhaps most ignored risk is operational irrelevance. A drone that cannot survive electronic warfare, cannot integrate into wider command systems may become ineffective. The age of comfortable warfare is ending. For decades, military power was measured through aircraft carriers, fighter squadrons and missile ranges. Now, a drone worth a few lakh rupees can destroy equipment worth millions. A swarm can overwhelm air defenses. A loitering munition can silently wait above a battlefield before striking with precision. And artificial intelligence is beginning to change combat faster than military doctrines can adapt. This is the battlefield India has entered. The countries that control the software, sensors, communication networks and AI behind drone warfare will dominate tomorrow's battlefields. Because future wars will not only test firepower, they will test technological independence.